Our travel around the world is forecast to top 1.8 billion tourists by 2030. And moving millions of people from place to place takes a major toll, from emissions to pollution to pressure on ecosystems and local communities. Our tourism will once again come into focus this week as UN-led climate talks get underway, with holidaymakers and the wider travel sector rethinking their relationship with planet Earth. In the final part of our special on green travel, CNA's Dawn Tan meets the changemakers taking the journey to net zero one trip at a time.
About 1 hour from Phuket's International Airport at the edge of the Andaman Sea lies a sustainable resort built to have as little impact on the environment as possible. Part of that green effort at Khao Lak Merlin involves a partnership with this woman. Aliza Napativamnoy says that when it comes to tourism, there's more to waste than meets the eye.
When we talk about service waste, it's never really something that's tangible, like waste that you can actually see and touch or be in a warehouse. So how can we actually create opportunities there? So those were like the beginning of the questions that we were asking ourselves. How to convert spare capacity into creating impact and channeling funding into that social impact area.
Think of spare capacity as the stuff a business can't use, like unsold hotel rooms or leftover spa packages. Through Social Giver, a social enterprise Aliza co-founded in 2015, that spare capacity is sold online at a discount. Half the profits might go to projects like reforestation and people in the community. It means, for example, that just one night in that pool villa could send a child to school for 3 years.
We see a huge demand in this. You see people who want to be able to vote with where their money is going with social media, and a lot of people not just sharing about what is available out there, but more of what are the problems in our communities and in the environment that is actually escalating extremely fast.
The value of sustainable travel is starting to get across in the Asia-Pacific region, and we're mostly getting that message online. In 2023, people splurged on vacations and international travel, despite the high costs of airfares. But there are signs the pent-up demand is starting to wane. In its place, domestic vacations have emerged as a sustainable travel idea, with a whopping 90% of internet users saying they have one planned next year. Most, especially younger people, express concern about their carbon footprint. But are we skating on thin ice, even as the demand rises for Insta moments in nature?
People switch off when they want to travel in terms of sustainability knowledge and principles. You need to make sustainability a way of life. And I see evidence of that happening in the younger generations. Your Gen Zs or your post-millennial crowd. They understand that the climate and the world that they inherit from us is not going to be in the best of health, and they are taking up that mantle of sustainability very rapidly through civil society actions, through being influencers or spreading the message around sustainability, even in travel or in everyday life.
And travel influencers globally have emerged as a big driver of that message as tourism and climate change acceleration become increasingly intertwined. Award-winning filmmaker Michaela Guzzi left the corporate world 13 years ago to set up online travel platform Oh the People You Meet. It's a global collective of creators who curate content with the planet's health front and center.
Sustainability and climate change, that's all of our problem. We all share planet Earth together, and it's our home, and we should act as neighbors to protect our planet.
For Ms. Guzzi, a step toward accountability with green travel is one giant leap for mankind, and she's learning from legends.
Of people who understand we've got to help people as well as animals, and to help people and animals we must save the environment, so it's all interconnected.
So brave.
when I interviewed Dr. Jane Goodall, we filmed with her in Sierra Leone, and she described sustainability as a three-legged stool. And that is, you can protect the wildlife and you can protect the environment. But if the local people don't feel the positive impact of the inbound tourism dollar, the stool will never stand on its own.
Ms. Guzzi is a seasoned traveller, and she's cautious about the misuse of the term sustainable tourism.
We encountered these situations that actually seemed good, like we were doing good, like we were going to be giving back to the people, the places and the purposes that we were filming. And actually when I got there, I was like, something feels really off. And in one particular occasion, it revolved around orphanage tourism.
As people search for options to travel with purpose, controversial themes have emerged, blurring the lines between doing good and doing harm. One of them is voluntourism. It markets itself as a seamless blend of charity and leisure. Organising trips for over 10 million people annually, voluntourism agencies reap billions from their clients' good intentions. Cambodia has one of the fastest growing rates of this type of voluntourism in the world, with orphanages at the heart. Activists say the lack of official oversight can leave children vulnerable to abuse.
I empower our travelers and our viewers and our followers and our fans to be responsible. They need to do their part too, and part of that is doing research and asking questions in advance. And so you need to ask your tour guide or the local hotel operator, is this actually a legitimate operation? I think it's a really fine line between authentically connecting with people when you're visiting a place, but people are not for show.
What motivates travel is complex. An opportunity to do good, to not be who you are ordinarily from 9 to 5, or a response to the fear of missing out as climate change takes its toll on fragile places. A 2016 study revealed the decline in the health of Australia's Great Barrier Reef had been motivating more and more travellers to visit. And so another phrase was coined: last chance tourism. And today, travel to Greenland's melting glaciers or Arctic Canada's ice sheets for so-called doomsday tourism is also on the rise. The rush to see behemoths of broken ice before they melt away.
They might learn about what is sustainability, they might learn what is responsible climate action, but do they practice it? Whether or not this messaging can actually penetrate to these people who are more resources to travel often, that's going to be a problem.
Tourism will happen, whether we are involved in that, whether any individual country or company is involved in that or not. This is a phenomena that is so global and so impactful that it will continue to grow, and making sure that it doesn't go off the rails is something for which an active investment needs to happen. It's the whole ecosystem basically of tourism that needs to be elevated to deal with challenges into the future. Yeah.
Travel and tourism will serve as a testbed for sustainable changes as we move towards a net zero world. Now, while there may be no single global blueprint for a sustainable travel framework, partnerships are growing across Asia and the world to actively promote sustainable practices at the national and local level. The future of green travel may well already be here. It's just not everywhere just yet. Dawn Tan, CNA.